Okay, so we're talking about the weight in the reins, which is contact in dressage, or in the connection in Western dressage. What is the weight in the reins? And we have a snaffle on him. So let's talk about. You said to me, "Well, I think I have about a pound in each rein." So that would be a package of 4 sticks of butter, margarine. Okay, that's a pound, a package of butter in each hand. Or 2.5 pounds is a dozen eggs. 5 pounds is a gallon of milk. 2 eggs is a few ounces. So you're thinking you have a package of butter in each hand.
Mhm.
That's a lot of contact for most of the time, which is
Mhm.
perhaps one of the reasons why we're going to work on the contact today, like because we have to figure out who's pulling that contact, because he can be leaning down on the rein or you can be retracting backwards on it, because otherwise there's no way to get weight in the reins, and you can adjust how much weight you have in the rein, and we can teach him to lean less if he's leaning on the bridle. So let's go ahead and pick up the reins again and walk and then see. Now, is that weight the same when he walks as when he trots?
I feel like when he walks, it's even heavier.
Really? Okay. So what we're trying to teach him is that we're going to move and soften the rein. We're going to move the bit and tell him to come round in the bridle. But then when he
Mhm.
is round, that he's to stay there. But your
Mhm.
job is to keep him just inside of the bridle, and the weight in the contact, you're trying to get to a couple of eggs or an egg,
Okay.
that weight. Or how about a stick of butter as opposed to the package of butter? Like, he's round now. Is he light?
No, not right now. But now he is.
Okay. But one of the things is I never saw you, like, your elbows looked locked.
Okay.
So when he's heavy, put your hands together and hands closer together and lower, and then shorten the rein so that you lifted up your hands to make the rein shorter. Now, what you're going to
Mhm.
do is you're going to turn the bits to make him lighter. But then when he's on the bit, if he starts to pull, you vibrate the bit and you tell him, don't pull down. Don't pull down. I'm not pulling back, and I'm not going to pull down, and I'm not holding that weight in my hand. I'm not going to hold it. Now, how's that going?
Good, because when I do vibrate the bit in his mouth, he does get lighter, but then he gets heavy again. So am I locking my elbows?
Possibly, but kick him up and go, stop pulling.
Okay.
And then don't pull back, because it takes two people to pull. Like, is he pulling down or are you holding? Because here's the
Yeah.
deal, you don't hold. You don't hold it.
Mhm.
You won't hold it. And the other thing
Yeah.
is we were talking about possibly putting a cavison on this horse because he is opening his jaw. And when a horse opens their jaw backwards against the bit, they can give the rider a dead feel, which is an artificial feel. And this is why we want horses' mouths closed. So just having a cavison, even in Western dressage or English dressage, even if the cavison isn't tight, because it's not necessarily about closing the horse's mouth, but he can't open his jaw completely if he has a cavison on. He can open it enough to take a sugar or a carrot, but he can't bite an apple. Just that restriction keeps him from dropping, like right, dropping his jaw and giving you a dead feel in the mouth. So connection is really important, that the rider's arms are elastic. Like, if he's round, you should have the rein just barely retracted enough to keep it from going slack, but you're not supposed to actually be pulling backwards.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to hold him. You're supposed to tell him, stay here, don't pull. Stay here, don't pull. So this is like holding somebody's hand, that you're going to hold their hand for hours. You're not squeezing it to death. you have a light contact, you're just there. Or how about you're in the movie theater and you're watching a movie and your hand rests on the other person's hand. It rests there, but it has no pressure. This is what really good contact with a horse feels like. Left rein isn't forward enough and it's not in front of the saddle pad and down. It has to be together, lower, and in front of the saddle pad. Yes. Okay, let's try it at the trot and see if we can get this kind of connection. Tell me when it's light.
Mhm.
Kick. Yeah,
Right now.
push. Hands together, hands together, hands together. I mean, get them together and on the saddle pad. Yes. Good job. Okay, is it still light?
Fighting me a little.
Okay, open your clavicles, kick him up. Because when he's going downhill, he's pulling down onto the thoracic. Press the whip against his shoulder and pop him up and tell him stay up there. Don't lean on the bridle. Yep.
Very light.
Hands down. So when the horse is light, you have to be sure that that you don't have a grip in your hand like a death grip, and that you're not pulling back, because his only reward is that when he's light, you're light, and he goes, oh, this is good. And you go, good boy, because you're telling him this is the connection I want. I want lightness. Yeah, the reins are occasionally soft, and he's not to pull down. Great job here, Dana. Very good job on working on the connection and the contact. See if you can ride into a transition, keeping him with the pole the highest point. Get his pole up, your clavicles open. Yes, and then ride into an easy transition that doesn't require a lot of bit aid. Okay, stopped a little on the forehand. Let's try that again. And don't forget, you have to go up, down, sit, sit. You have to sit at least 2 bounces before you walk. So let's go forward and do one more transition to get that right, because he kind of stopped on his forelegs. So you have to give the downward half halt after you're sitting. So sit the trot, keep him forward, and then walk. Better job. Great.